Hello, and welcome to another episode of TacoBytes, your daily bite of Degen, episode number 383, back to basics. Stella Swap decks. The decks of Polkadot on Moonbeam. Moonbeam is a mainnet parachain of Polkadot, EVM compatible, and so that is what we're going to be showcasing tonight is Stella Swap. We hope everyone's having a great Taco Tuesday. We're just doing a quick series we're gonna try to roll it out the rest of this month, just going over some of the protocols that we come across that we use, that we go and check in, and we like to showcase some of the other dexes that really have some good pieces to them. And so one of the things we want to load through real quick, just remember, not everyone's settings are the same. Blah, 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 blah. And so one of the things that we do, a little different, is we keep our MetaMask on a non-informational repeat keep cycle. So we have to refresh that a lot. So one of the things that we use is we use both JoinFire and Wallet Guard to sort of showcase what they look like. And so what we're going to be showcasing today, like I said, is Stella Swap. It is the leading DEX on Polkadot based on Moonbeam. So sort of if you want to get into the Polkadot ecosystem, you don't necessarily need a Node.js or a Polkadot.js wallet. I personally recommend Nova. Nova Wallet is a really good wallet that allows you to use all the different parachains within Polkadot, Dot, Kusama, Hydra, Astar, Akala, Secret, Manta, Origin. I think there's like 27 chains right now within the Polkadot ecosystem. So one of the easiest ways to get through to all of the different parachains is via Axelar's satellite bridge, and then using Stella Swap to bridge to any of the other parachains. So like I said, we're going to be showcasing you Stella Swap today. One of the things that you'll be able to find from their main page is their website, white paper, Twitter, Discord, Telegram, Medium, Reddit, LinkedIn, YouTube, and their GitHub. From their website, you get an initial page, and you'll see this with a lot of protocols. They have their homepage, then you specifically launch their app. Within our bug bounty program, tokenomics and docs, DeFi gateway to Moonbeam, just over a year old, launched January 11th of, coming up on 2 years actually, January 11th of 2022. So really cool to see. Some really cool things coming up with an IDO bridge, as well as earning, and a really good thing to sort of see. Stella is the token for Stella Swap, and one of the things that you can sort of see is what it's supposed to be is 35,000 daily tokens launched out of that 500 million. And so I just want to go showcase something really quick. We're going to do this quick side trip down old memory lane. We can go see, we'll do two things. We're going to showcase what Stella Swap looks like. And then we're going to look at both the contract piece on Moonscan. Moonscan is the ether scan of Moonbeam. And so we can go here, Stella, and then there's X Stella too for when you stake it. As you can currently see, there's 24 million in the total supply. If we look at holders, you'll see that 64% is held within the token contract itself. Max supply out is within different contracts for emissions. and some of the old dual farms as well. And then I think one of the big, so as you can see, all of the major holders of 1% or more are contracts, two different swap addresses for two different exchanges, and people's personal supply from building and accumulating a whole bunch of Stella, even from back in the V1 days. So we have a lot there to go around. One of the things that we can see here is that there's almost 9,000 people hold Stella. So that is a really cool accomplishment. Really hard to grow out. But what I wanted to sort of showcase is how much is left. So out of the total was 500 million, as you can see. And 24 million has already gone out. So that leaves roughly 475,000. And so what you can do is you can divide that by 35,000, and that goes to showcase that's roughly 13,577 days are left. And we will put that. So that's a roughly 37 years emissions plan. So a good piece there. Initial launch was at $2, and right now trading at 7 cents. It's gone up and down, and it's been up around. I've seen Stella as high as I think it was around 250 or so. GM, Adam, how are you?
What are we doing, Taco? I'm bored in my bed, and I saw you were hosting something, so I joined.
Oh man, yeah, no, I am doing as I always do. I'm doing well tonight. I'm doing back to basics. Been showcasing a couple early protocols, how to use them, and tonight sort of going over Stella Swap, both on Twitter, 2 YouTube channels. Shout out to everyone there.
Twitch, brother, Telegram, man,
everyone in between.
That's how it's done, man. Education. Yeah. There's levels to this game, and too many people, when they think of content creators making stuff, they go straight to like level 4, where people are talking about price predictions and how to trade and stuff. But they forget that the vast majority of content creators, what they're doing is they're onboarding, regular everyday folk and your casual crypto enthusiast who's been here for a couple months, but might know how to connect to an exchange, but might not know how to use something like Stella Swap, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Glad you're doing it, brother.
Thank you, man. Thank you. How have you been? I know you just were at Rare Evo.
You know how I've been. You know what I've been doing for the last 10
days. You've been riding a roller coaster. It seems. How was Rare Evo?
We're over now, though. The conclusion of the new chapter began today. If anyone's watching is wondering what we're talking about, a good friend of mine is BitBoy Crypto, who I was hanging out with at Rare Evo. Just having fun, partying, watching, doing speeches, and we had dinner together. It was a great time. And then the final, when we were flying back, BitBoy got fired by his own company. So it was a roller coaster as to why that happened. And long story short, there was highs, there were lows, there was faults on both sides, and I think both sides, the old BitBoy Crypto, which is now run by Hit Network, a group of very talented guys, are going to continue to make content for beginners, level 1, level 2, and level 3, and they never really go past level 3, nor should they. Meanwhile, BitBoy has started a new channel today. You can follow his new Twitter account. It's easy to find. And he's going to host the very first live stream on his new YouTube channel tomorrow.
Nice.
At like 11:30. But the thing BitBoy said is he's going back to basics. When he started, he was in his basement, just doing it for the love of the game. No Gucci, no Lamborghinis, no gimmick, no character. Just Ben Armstrong onboarding regular human beings and working every man into crypto, going back to basics and start from scratch. And, I wish him the best of luck, and I'm glad that all sides now have goals and a path and a journey to go down, because it was just a tornado for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, I was asked, and I said sort of the same thing that I've always sort of said. Ben has his own freaking path. He started on a great path of teaching people and bringing a lot of information. And what people forget is that there's life involved in all of this. Crypto's 24/7, but so is life. Thanks for letting me know that he's starting his new channel today or tomorrow. If you could throw up.
He has his new Twitter account today. He announced that tomorrow, 11:30, he will be launching his first live stream on his new channel, where basically he's back in his basement doing what he used to do. Can
you share one of his top posts up in the bird's nest so I can push that out? So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of fake accounts coming up trying to say that they're Ben.
I will. Let me tell the story real quick.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be the story that you think I'm going to tell. It's going to be one you never heard before.
Okay.
When I met you, Taco, I met you a guy named Cassius Cuvée, a guy who, without BitBoy Crypto, would probably not be in the space still. He was a rapper, hip-hop artist. The way Cassius got involved was he showed up to the wrong meetup one day. Here in San Francisco, he was trying to go to like a music meetup. He got their address wrong, knocked on the door, and when we opened it, he sat in and realized he was at a crypto meetup instead, and he just stayed, right? He does great music videos. Tacos, you've been in music videos. When we met you in Vegas last year at Money 2020, I think you're at CoinJetta. But,
yep.
There's a bunch of things going on. You always wear so many badges. You can walk in whatever the hell you want. You got to be a part of his music video, and the Cassius let you stay in his hotel or his Airbnb with him for free. And you had known each other for less than
like 4 or 5 hours or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that whole thing, CoinJetta was fine. Litecoin Summer was fine, but the Money 2020 thing that went for 5 days had 1 billion people at it. I remember probably maybe 50,000 people. It was the biggest thing I've ever been to.
Yeah.
They were a finance conference. They liked the Mark Cubans and Mr. Wonderful of the world. They were both speaking. They were trying to appeal to crypto, so they gave almost every single major crypto company, like your Ripples and your Trons and stuff, their own booths there. I think they gave it to them discounted. You can't beat them, join them. But the crazy thing was no one cared.
Mm-hmm.
The foot traffic was all finance. When you walked in there, the crypto booths, no matter how big they were, I think Ripple spent like $40,000 on theirs. It was huge. No one was at that with those booths. It's just no one cared. So in that regard, when we were there, we got bored quickly. So we left the convention, where no one knew who BitBoy was. BitBoy was walking around trolling people, or like with his camera crew,
mm-hmm.
and being like, "Hey, do you know what an NFT is?" And he'd be like, "That they're all like scams. Like I heard the apes are only worth 99 cents now. Like no, I think the apes are still like 100. No, they're worth a quarter. No, yes they are. Just it was really cool. But no one knew who he was, right? He's a big, huge finance, the biggest influencer in the world. We even got one person who worked for a lady who worked for Shopify, who admitted to us that they scam. She tries to scam. They scam their users with crypto. Like they use Web3 and they integrate it into their system and to nickel and dime their users. And there's something in their TOS that says that they're not they're like free of like SEC violence. It was crazy. She was talking all this stuff and just talking. And then when she finally realized who she was, she tracked me down the next day and pleaded with me that it was the alcohol talking and that she shouldn't. We don't share, so we didn't. But the finance people, when you go to their parties, they were just talking about how they screw people, how they make money, and how the little man like basically deserves to die. It was disgusting. At crypto parties, that's not the thing, and so no one knew who BitBoy was. We were trolling everyone. Then when we started walking down the strip, the regular strip, the Bit Boy was like, let's get the hell out of here. I don't like it here in front of all these painters.
That's where he was recognized?
Yeah, we walked a long time. We walked from Venetian all the way to like the Cosmopolitan. And we stopped like eat somewhere or get drinks or something. He doesn't drink, I drink. But he got stopped by like families from Norway and Australia and Korea and all over Middle America, family from Wyoming. I still have. I haven't released it. I don't know why I would. I might just so people can see. I have like a 5-minute video where we're walking down the street. A guy dressed up as Deadpool, and he has another guy in a Bumblebee Transformer costume. They're out there trying to get people to take pictures with him. We're walking by. They go, "Is that Bit Boy guy?" And they were nerding out, right? And everyone basically said, you know, hey, this shit's complicated. I didn't know what I was doing. I tried so hard. I listened to your videos, and I listened to them over and over again. It onboarded me, and now I'm able to, you know, afford my family's future and, you know, get out of the system. And it was great. And it was just a stark contrast between being at Money 2020 Summit and the after parties and just walking down the strip and meeting normal people. And to me, that let me know that we were doing something right. Now, I don't know what the moral of the story is. Obviously, Bit Boy is an abrasive figure, and a lot of the things that happen he brings on to himself. But I do know that no matter what your opinion on him as a person, whether you like him or not, or you think his content is obnoxious or not, without him, there would be literal millions. And that's not hyperbole. Literal millions of people all around the world that wouldn't be into crypto.
Yep.
Regular human beings, mothers and teachers.
I agree with you.
Employees.
I remember some of the first videos that I used to watch of him and stuff like that. You know, we're just talking to the camera, and I think that's sort of where I think it maybe was 2019 was where when I started doing Taco Tuesdays and stuff like that. You know, because I started making content 2018 because I was, you know, it was, you know, there was 1,000 people out there making content that had zero information. And so Ben was one of those people that had information, and he still does. You know, people, this is the thing, you know, when you're talking about protocols and stuff like that, you know, everyone talks about fair launch. Fair launch is only as good as the amount of people that know about it. So the more people that know about something or know how to learn from it or how to get that information, and I think that's something that Ben always, you know, tried to do. And it's one of those, we use this term a lot. I think, I don't know if it's turned into an excuse, and I think we need to get rid of it, but do your own research. You know, people need to have trust in someone because, and so, yeah, I'm glad to hear that he's making a new channel. But like I said, definitely pin one of his new tweets up in the bird's nest so that I can get his new Twitter account pushed out there. You know,
I'm doing it now.
Nice. And you're gonna be at Breathe, or are you gonna be at Permissionless?
I don't know. And also Token 2040, I got invited to a lot of things. I got people who want me to come to all sorts of them.
Yeah.
Token 2040 is probably what I'm going to, because the altcoin daily twins are going. I usually follow them around and help them out wherever I can. And also I got invited to some really cool stuff in Singapore. There's so much stuff going on there.
Yeah.
I haven't made up my mind yet. Because Breathe is wanting me to go and speak.
Yeah.
And then
are you gonna do a backflip
for that today? So I don't know, man. Yeah, I'm so don't know that I might just not do anything. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things. There's so much to do. I might end up doing nothing.
I would say going to Token 2049. Go to that in Singapore for 2 reasons. If you had your option between Permissionless, Singapore, and Vegas, I would go to Token simply because it's such a huge smorgasbord of like, you know, all of the smaller companies and projects that circle Asia, Australia, and Europe, that would be the most bang for buck, because it's like an entire week.
V-Chain's based in Singapore, so
yeah,
I'm pretty tight with those guys. So you type those guys, get in anything in Singapore. So,
yeah.
Also, Box Mining, the channel Box Mining has been around since 2017, and they've added the Crypto Master Crew, Nathan Lang, to it. They also added Jimmy Wong. Jimmy Wong won the Influencer Award for Best Newcomer last year. She does all sorts of great things.
Didn't you give those awards out?
All part of the same channel. I think it's 300K channel.
Yeah.
It's been around. They're in Singapore, and they never travel anywhere, but they'll be there. So I get to meet these guys for the first time. This would be great.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm going to Singapore, brother. I think we just made up that mind.
Hell yeah.
In fact, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna book it right after I get off here. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Thank you, Taco.
Hey, I had the opportunity to personally interview Luca Netz from Pudgy Penguins at Permissionless, and he was like, I was invited to Permissionless and I was invited to Token 2049, and I was like, look, the self-serving side of me says come to Permissionless so I can interview, but Pudgy Penguins would benefit the most from going to Token 2049. So one of the things I'm looking forward to at Permissionless is like a lot of the regulation side of things and a lot of regulation talks. But like for being a worldwide platform, Hit, you, BitBoy, yeah. I think one of the coolest things you guys have always done is like the multi-language overview stuff, putting all of that SEO stuff together on the YouTube channels. You guys have done an awesome job on that.
Well, I mean, so I have very little to do with BitBoy's productions. Back in the day when he was very new, I worked more closely with him. He had less than 1,000 subs, man. When I was in 2017, but he was always around helping other people, which was a crazy thing. He was in all the Telegram groups, and he was in everyone's DMs offering to help and give advice, and he was always there. It's almost like he was a robot, a machine. And we were doing this thing by the company I was working for. It was an influencer marketing company that turned into crypto because in 2017, why not? You're the ICO, right?
Yeah.
I was tasked with learning what crypto was. So I went to YouTube to learn. I found out, and using our own software to find these YouTubers. And I found so many actual scams, like your BitConnect things, your Trayvon James, your Craig Grants, your Crypto Nicks, you know, they were terrible. So I edited our influencer software, like it's to identify influencers who talk about certain subjects in certain regions. I basically took the YouTube Open API, and I did it for other platforms as well, but no one was talking about crypto on those platforms. And I kind of messed with it to try and tell me who was a good guy and who was a bad guy. Like I could see all fake traffic, and if they got like 100,000 subscribers from Russia overnight, or they were deleting videos, etc. So I started recruiting what I thought were good YouTubers to be advisors for our platform. It looked good. Honestly, they could help us and teach us what we were doing. And that's when the first influencer wars in 2017 or 2018 came about. It was Consensus's idea, but they hired us to staff it, you know, and they took it way too seriously. It ended up being a comedy show just because it was a disaster. Like we had MIMs performing, and we had police called on us, and there was a pornography token that was doing like live shows. And liquor was taken away, so they were serving. We bought liquor and gave it to the porno girls who gave it out to guests under the table. Like Brandon Ike of Ray Token was getting it. Like, you know, it was something. And but the point I'm getting at here is BitBoy wasn't invited to these things because BitBoy was too small, and I couldn't get my company or any sponsor to fly him out. And he flew himself out. And while everyone else was staying at 5-star hotels, BitBoy was staying in like a living room with a curtain, you know?
Yeah.
Like he and then when the conference was over, everyone had very shitty footage Bit-Boy had great footage. He made amazing footage for not just him, but everyone else. And, you know, it just showed me his hard work. You know, he made this thing. We were in San Francisco for an event that he flew himself out to. We flew like 30 influencers and paid for their flights and their hotels and everything. We put them on stage at the original Litecoin Summit at a Stanford University event, something called Block World, giant convention, and no one would let him on stage because he was too small. But he made the best content, and he made like people with crypto influencers to the theme of Full House. It's still up. If you Google BitBoy Full House, you'll find this thing. But it just showed me like this guy works way harder than everyone else, and he really, really cares. You know, if we weren't paying for Crypto Bobby to come out, you know, he wouldn't come out. And here's this guy flying across the nation, bootstrapping his way because he just wants to learn and he loves it, you know. And that's, I told him at one of those events, you know, we were playing ping pong together. There was a party and there was a ping pong table there. Lots of ping pong tables there. It was like a ping pong nightclub. And we played a game. I told him, I said, man, you know, I'm sorry that, you know, we weren't able to like accommodate you with literally anything other than letting you tag along. But I'm telling you, all these people inside, they're all talented. They're not going to make it, or they might make it. They might, but you will make it. You will be one of, if not the greatest, largest, most helpful YouTuber, crypto YouTuber in the world because of your just hard work. You know, you know, I took a lot of convincing, but I was able to get him on as an advisor to my shitty company. It's called Boosto. If you ever look at it, Boosto.io is still up. You know, there's we had an influencer advisory board, and he's the only one who did anything. I don't even know. Like, we had a white paper that was like 100 pages long. I wrote some of it. You know, it was all bullshit. I'm just telling you, it was all bullshit. No, we didn't know what we were doing. I never read it. I didn't even know how our project worked. I think BitBoy actually read the damn thing because he was in our Telegram when we made him advisor. Everyone else didn't do anything. They just collected their token allocations and didn't do shit. But BitBoy, man, he was in our Telegram channel, talking to folks. When guys came in and were trying to like scam, he's like, "Hey, this guy's a scammer." Ban. We ended up making him, I think, a moderator in the he became like our free Telegram manager. And when someone had a question about our project that I couldn't answer, I didn't know how the fuck it worked, he would answer it. I'm like, this guy, he works so hard. He's so selfless. You know, he's gonna make it. And yeah, I don't know what happened along the way. You know, like you said that you liked how BitBoy was beginning along the way. You think he lost his way. I will challenge you on that. Say he didn't. He evolved with the times. As you grow bigger, your audience gets somewhere. You know, you have to evolve with it, or else you're going to stagnate. But I do know that BitBoy's going back to basics. He said so. Tomorrow, when I watch his live stream, I'm thinking it's going to be more 2018 BitBoy and less 2023 BitBoy. So I'm looking forward to it.
Nice. I posted his channel out, and I'll check out his YouTube and see when he is streaming. Do you know what time he is streaming tomorrow?
It's 11:30 Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. I actually have an MRI tomorrow. I got in a skateboarding accident. I'm pretty sure I tore a tendon in my wrist, so I might miss the morning one, but I'll catch the evening one. The pinned message tells you the time.
Yep, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. All right.
Yeah, there's a on his new Twitter account. You'll see he has a post where he says, "Hey, you know, no more Gucci, no more Lamborghinis. I'm going back to where I came from. BitBoy's dead. I'm Ben Armstrong." So I'm very excited to see where this goes.
Yeah, that'll be really. It's really sort of cool to see stuff like that happen. I think me personally, not to get too much into the details of Ben's life, because I feel that there needs to be, not everything needs to be out there, but when his family and him were personally put at risk, I think that sort of was, you know, where I started to see a change. And I think I don't know every detail of everything. I don't even know half the details. But there was a video of him and his wife that came out recently, and I think that if anything, this was sort of like, I don't want to say a come to Jesus, but a come back together moment. And this will be really cool to see. Like I said, if there's anything I can do to support, let me know. I think that, yeah, that'll be really cool to see.
I saw your DM and sent me on Telegram. I responded. You haven't seen it. I responded jokingly. By the way, if you look at it, it's just a joke. But because because I sent it like a week ago, you haven't seen it. I don't think the joke hits anymore.
But the joke always hits.
You seeing it now?
I'm looking right now. Oh my gosh. I've sort of been stuck in Dallas. You
see it? You see what it says?
Oh yeah, I do. Okay.
I'll just break it. You said, hey, I saw everything happen. It sucks. Let me know if they had your help. I think that's what I said. I said like, shit. I don't even remember. But I remember something about like it was a jab at Sonya. I remember that.
Yeah.
It was like a funny jab. It was like a personal jab. What was it?
Shoelaces. Yeah.
I said, thanks, Taco. Do me a favor and tell Sonya that I hope she trips over her shoelaces.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not like a super jab. That's a nice funny jab, right?
It's a funny jab. I don't even know. I don't touch that one.
I know we're not touching that one. Nope.
So yeah, I think that was a low moment for both sides, and that sort of really frustrated me on a deep level. So
that was both sides were at that should not have happened.
Yep.
And no one got anything good out of that. That hurt everyone.
Yep.
There was no upside to that for any party involved. There was a lot of parties involved.
Yeah.
Seven YouTubers, a crowd of people, me, my business, my sponsor.
Yeah.
Decentral. It really hurt Decentral. Decentral ain't going to. They're not doing Art Basel. They lost too much money. One of their main sponsors last year was Coinbase, and the main stage, was being shown on Coinbase, I believe. But because of what happened, we delayed that main stage on Coinbase's live feed for like 90 minutes. So, they weren't too happy about that. So and of course Sonya, some idiot hacked her fucking website, fucking garbage. That happened. Like just nothing good happened.
Yep. No,
I think we all learned a lesson though. One, don't heckle. It's not going to go your way. And two, if someone heckles, sit the fuck down.
Yeah.
I let the crowd control do its job, right?
Yeah. So. It's one of those things where, I don't have nothing nice to say to either side on that event, and so I don't say anything.
It's one of those.
Yeah.
It's just I mean, it sucks. Michael's not saying it, but that might be the reason that the Central can't do Art Basel anymore. They don't have enough money. They lost their main sponsor because we fucking delayed their feed for an hour and a half.
Yeah, I think Decentral is going to be a permissionless, and I think they're doing something at Token 2049.
Yeah, they were doing a Tokyo. They were doing a Tokyo.
All right.
Yeah, but Art Basel, you know how much money that costs to rent a place out in Miami for Art Basel?
For a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, and it really sucks they're not going to be there. I mean, what else? Who's going to take their place? I'm looking at no one's even. I think everyone's just assuming Decentral is going to be out there for Art Basel, so no one's even trying. But someone needs to go in there and grab one of those convention centers and do a crypto conference so I can do I could run the 6 annual influencer awards. Damn it.
I think ETH Global might be doing something, or ETH Mobile. So there's
I need something bigger. I need something big.
ETH Miami might be doing something.
I need something big. I can't do it at a dinky. I don't mean dinky. I mean a small. I need big.
Yeah.
You know.
Are you coming to Masari Mainnet in New York?
Yes. Yeah, I'll be there.
Nice.
I might be hosting a panel with Tiffany Fong. They want Tiffany Fong up there to talk about the FTX stuff. Thing with Tiffany is she doesn't really trust. She needs someone she trusts to guide her. Yeah. So she's turned them down. But I was like, "Go, Tiffany, just say yes." And tell them to bring your own moderator, and I'll make sure that the right questions get asked, so it doesn't degrade into, well,
hey,
what a FTX Sam Bankman-Fried panel would probably be great into, right?
What's hilarious is I'm actually friends with some of the people that were on FTX compliance. That's sort of the crazy, that FTX was a shit show.
Here's the thing. I was working for a company, a giant marketing company, one of the biggest in the world, actually the biggest in the world for influencer marketing. They can legally say that. God, it's not really true though. Anyhow, God, I hope they don't hear I just said that. It is true. It's totally true, guys.
100% true. This is on chain. So this is being broadcasted on chain as well to 2 different chains. So it's true. I'll co-sign that.
All right, cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
I only got myself in trouble for a minute there. It's totally true. Anyhow, I lost my train of thought there. Okay. So Alameda Research came to us, and they wanted us to give us a lot of money to do a marketing campaign for Alameda fucking Research, not FTX, but Alameda Research. They basically wanted us to do a influencer marketing campaign where people talked about how great Alameda Research was, and they highlighted everything they were doing in space. Now, I got a better. His name's the Cat. I think you've talked to him on Telegram a few times, maybe not. He's the best in the world. The Cat is. He used to actually work for BitBoy back when BitBoy was still funding the channels and doing sponsored content. BitBoy stopped. He got so big he didn't do it anymore. The Cat needed to work, so I brought him on with me. He vetted every prize that comes in there. He vets it up and down. He has like a 3-page, 24 bullet point process. Super complicated, but we actually ratified it into a legal document. So if anything ever if we ever approve something and later it turns out to be like a rug pull, we can show in court that hey, we did our due diligence. Like there's no way you could tell. So it sounds like I'm about to say that like we promoted FTX and we were clear because we had that vetting. Turns out that Cap's so good. He told us, no, you can't do this. We go, why? He goes, because Sam Bankman-Fried's a criminal and FTX is going to collapse by the end of the week and he'll probably be in prison. And we're like, what are you talking about, Cap? Like, I live in San Francisco. There's a giant mural of Sam Bankman-Fried's face in downtown that passes every day. Very true story. The FTX arena where the Miami Heat play. It's the best, like the most stable and trusted crypto company in the world. He's like, nope. I'm telling you, it's going to go under. And we don't go against the Cat. We just do what he says, right? My company was so upset that we turned that down. They came to me and said, hey, there needs to be a way that we can overrule the Cat so that he doesn't have like godlike power, So like maybe in some situations where there's
where money pays more than doing the right thing.
Yeah, well, there was maybe in some situation where there's like a disconnect, like we can vote, like we can get like the owners of the company, we get all the figureheads to vote, and we can outvote Cat. I thought about it for a little bit. I said, you know what? Maybe because I'm with you. I don't think FTX is going to collapse, but he says it's going to go down by the end of the week. So let's just table this till Monday and see what happens. That motherfucker went down the next day.
So I got put in sort of the same situation where I got outvoted because there was an out clause on and that was with the Nomad bridge. when we had the Nomad bridge hack last year. I had said from the get-go that there was an issue with the code, and because they had so many marketing dollars, that had everyone seeing green, which then led to one of the biggest declines crypto's seen since the Terra Luna crash. So yeah, I'm glad that you guys were able to get protect yourselves that way. It was funny in December. I was going through Telegram because I was in Miami for 3 weeks, I think, because there was like 2 weeks because there was 5 conferences. I was able to catch up in really old Telegram. The last, I love how they leave off where you last were in the conversation. And I'd been in a conversation with someone in June, and they were asking me about centralized exchanges and which ones that I liked. And I was like, Coinbase and crypto.com. And they're like, well, what about FTX? I was like, no, FSBF. And it was only because Alameda Research and them were a chain and tech killer. And so they killed so many good projects through price action because they got to say what the price was. And so they would shelf really good projects and decentralized projects. And so I literally call them a chain killer. And someone was like, yeah, well, I love them because of their deep liquidity. And I was like, my response was, let's see how that turns out. And when I got back to that, I was like, that was the first message. And I was like, he was like, I tagged his message like, this didn't age well. And he was like, yeah, but no one knew at the time. And I was like, look at my past messages. So I'm glad someone else saw that stuff. So yeah. But
yeah, we don't really know how you did it, but you did it. So we're and Cass caught other things too, and we have this. There's something that I caught. So the company I worked for was so Web 2. They had no Web 3 people. They didn't know anything at all, and they somehow convinced Polkadot to give them a lot of money to do like some marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that's kind of how I got hired. That we need to hire someone who knows what they're doing, right? And before I got hired, like I was at the ETH Denver 2022. And they're calling me. I have to get on a call. I have to sit on a beanbag chair and talk to them. I have to go through their deck. They put together the most beautiful 140-page deck. They have people they hire just to make presentation decks.
Yeah.
Right? And custom graphics. And it was just amazing looking. And he's like, hey, we're going to hop on the call with the Polkadot later today. Can you go over this? And I'm like, they're misusing the terminology for everything, right? Like they miss instead of saying blockchain, they were saying smart contract.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck? Like they didn't know what they were saying. Web3, which is okay, but then they thought anytime that they had to use the term blockchain to like describe like the industry, they called it a smart contract. Like, oh yeah, that's the smart contract community. It's fun. What the fuck are you talking? They didn't know any terminologies. I had to go through it real quickly, so they looked like idiots. Lucky for them, the Polkadot guy they were talking to. He was like the graphics, right?
Yeah.
And also they told him that they could get the Polkadot man from DC to do a television commercial for him. Is that true or not? I don't know, but. It got approved, and then, of course, the bear market hit, and then they pulled back. But it's just so Web 2-ish. When I came on board, there was a company called Kudos, which I like. I do like Kudos now. But back then, Kudos wasn't launched yet. And they gave the company a lot of money to get influencers to talk about it. But I'm like, yo, this thing ain't launched. Kudos is like a environmentally friendly blockchain. They have like a miner. It's hard to explain. But they weren't launched, so there was nothing to like go look at or talk about, or it was just an idea. And I was just like, you're trying to. They're like, yeah, we've had this thing for like a month. We can't get any influencers to agree to do it because they're scared of crypto. They don't like crypto, or they don't understand it. And and I'm like, well, can you tell me what this company does? And like, you guys don't even know what they do, and you took it on. I basically said, hey, look, man, it ain't launched. What you got to do, you got to take the guy who's the CEO, and you have to give them interviews. You have to have them go on channels and interviews, and then talk about, you know, the upcoming project that's gonna happen. You know,
Yeah.
you go to people and you say, hey, we want you to talk about this thing and talk about how great it is, and you can't figure out what the fuck it is. It doesn't work, so you just give the owner a platform to do it. Anyhow, what I was going at, there was a company called Stratus, right? Stratus isn't a real company. It's not real. It's a scam. And they wanted to like fucking put plutonium on a blockchain. I told my guy that I was working with, the Web 2 guy that was doing this deal, this is a scam. But the money was real. And what he didn't get, like the guy was really going to pay us like $1 million to promote the scam. And what they're used to is if they have the money, they can't do a scam. Like money is real, so therefore project's legitimate. And that's not true in crypto. In crypto, they'll gladly pay Kim Kardashian $500. A DAO will get together and pay Kim Kardashian $500,000 to promote a scam, right?
Yeah.
So they just didn't understand that. And it got to the point where the guy just, instead of killing the deal like he should have, pursued it for like 4 months. At one point, I saw that the guy had arranged to meet the CEO of this fake ass company for dinner in Toronto. Actually expensed it, went out there, and the guy no show because he doesn't fucking exist, right? All these hoops and ladders. Eventually, the guy claimed that Charlie Lee was an investor, and I know Charlie Lee, so I called Charlie Lee and was like, "You know this guy?" And he was like, "I don't know this person." And I sent back, saying, "Look, this guy's fake, right?" And then on top of that, the Litecoin Summit was coming up in Vegas. So I went out there. I met Charlie Lee in person. I put it on. I got it like video. I said, "Hey, do you know this person? Do you know this company? You never heard of him before. All right, thank you, Charlie." You know, to finally kill that deal. But what shocked me is that deal went on for like 7 months, even though I said it was a scam, and Cat made a whole documentation of how it's a scam, how this person he exists, but he doesn't really exist. Like that's his face, that's his name, but all his accomplishments are bogus, right?
Yeah.
Because the money was real and it could be verified. Just my company didn't want to kill it, right? You know, and that's scary. That's the main reason I quit the company, because I knew eventually they were just gonna do one, right? And then it would fall on me, right, as a director of blockchain.
Yeah.
But that's fucking scary, man. That's super, super, super scary. And we almost did it for Alameda. Like the money for Alameda was real, and they really, really wanted to do this damn thing, you know?
Yeah.
And thank God it collapsed the next day. You know, it's that's what we're dealing with, like firsthand, man. That's the evil, man. The evil of money. You know, we got these anonymous DAOs now that can all get together and then get pulled together $1 million, and then have one person draw a straw to be the figurehead, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's dangerous shit.
It's one of those crazy things that people don't think about, that, you know, either through anonymity, pseudo anonymity, or just, you know, someone saying they're doxxed. It's weird how much trust comes about from that consistency of something. And, you know, people think that if they hear a real name of someone that it's got to be real, but people just they're like, I've tried. I almost worked with a project that was putting like Coinbase on their website, and that was because you know, what I later found out is because they had sent an email to the marketing team at Coinbase. They, you know, were promoting to their community and to anyone that they were working with Coinbase. And I give them kudos for, you know, at least taking that lunge of you know, sending an email to Coinbase. Not a lot of projects do that, but that's that thing where people, you know, they just go all in on it like that, and you never really know.
And you know, man, like it's just so here's the thing, like these Web 2 companies, whether they marketing companies, sales companies, VCs, or whatever, they're used to operating a certain way for a long time, and it's proven to work. But it's proven to work with real fiat money, right?
Yep.
Not crypto money. They don't know how it works. They don't know how the allocation is. They just don't know, you know. So when people are going up, they're tricking these marketing companies and consulting companies and agencies by saying we're going to give you like $5 million and this and that. But ends up being like a shit coin. It's going to go to zero anyhow, so they don't even get their money, right?
Yeah.
You know, but when I came on board to this company, they had all these. This guy, man, he was like 24 years old. Hey, like young kid, like just happy to be there, happy to be in a position he was in. And he's like, oh yeah, I closed all these deals, but we don't have anyone who knows any blockchain, so we don't have anyone that knows how to contact influencers and help them script the videos. So now you can start working on it. He gave me a list. I was like, bro, man, besides Binance, these are all scams. Every single one of them. And I'm like, did you take this money? Like, do you have this money in your fucking hands? Because you got to give it back. You know?
Yeah.
Luckily they didn't. But like they were basically what he was saying closed. Like, have you forced these people to talk to you face to face? And the answer was no. So we got one guy. We forced him to come on face to face. This guy came on, showed his face, was some Indian cat with a video game. But the problem was on his website, it was literally a video game NFTs, and he was trying to do a marketing campaign to get people to whitelist for an NFT. It costs money to whitelist for it, by the way. And then you get this NFT, and then you can use it. It represents your character when you play the game or something. Problem was his website looked like a GeoCity website. He had an image of what the NFT would look like. It's not an NFT. And then he had the script for his game. And the script for his game was copy and pasted from Final Fantasy 15 Wikipedia. And I knew that by looking at it, right? He just changed the names because I had read that goddamn Wikipedia page a couple years ago. But the money was real. I'm like, how the fuck does this guy get this money, right? So I'm talking to him, and he's like, oh yeah, we're going to be undoxed, or we're going to be undoxed. Like I have investors, I have game developers from fucking all these AAA gaming companies, but because I don't want their families to be harassed if something goes wrong, they're going to be undoxed. So no one's doxed. We're all going to be under our screen names. We're not going to show our faces. That's why we're hiring you. And the game's not out yet. It's not developed yet. We're going to get people to whitelist. I'm like, so you want people to pay money to whitelist for an NFT for a game that doesn't exist, for developers we can't see, they can't see? I'm just like, this is a scam. What this guy wants to do is give us money, and then he'll get a bunch of people to whitelist for this thing. It was like $250 and like worth of Ethereum at the time. And then he's just going to rug, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there talking to him, and my guy that's with me for the company, the Web 2 guy, he's like, no, this is great. Like, I'm like, no, man, this guy's a scam. So I just kept on going and kept on picking at him. And then finally I said, dude, why did you copy and paste the description for the Final Fantasy 15 Wikipedia and change the names as your plot? And he started sweating, right? And then I go, I'm going to be upfront with you. I think you're a scam. I'm video recording this Zoom call, so I got your face, your real name, and everything. And he just started freaking out and started begging me not to release the video and apologizing for trying to scam us, And I said, don't worry about it. We're not going to do it. I didn't actually record anything, but I was just trying to prove to the guy I was with, like, yo, these are scams. Like,
yeah,
when you put them in a corner, right, they'll get you. And he goes, but the money's real. How can it be a scam? I go, you don't know what a fucking DAO is, do you?
Well, no, it's not only that, but what like criminals have learned is they put $300,000 into something, they'll make 30 million. they'll make 3 million, you know. And people, you know, they go into they'll go, for some people, $5 is life-changing money, you know. I think one of the worst things that I think one of the saddest things that CoinMarketCap got rid of was their learn and earns. They were completely Sybil. Half of them were Sybil attacked. I worked for one project that I did a competition on CoinMarketCap that had 1,000 winners. It was supposed to have 1,000 winners. There was over 500,000 submissions. Of those submissions, there was 6 tasks that they had to do, and it was my job to go through and check all of them. Started off with some pretty simple things, you know, just like repeated wallet addresses, repeated Twitter, you repeat it, without even going and checking to see if they reposted the tweets. Just through wallet addresses and like the comparison of account names, it knocked that 500,000 down to 367 people. You're just like, well, I'm like, these are the people I want to reward. These are the people that are actually doing this stuff, you know. But all of that other stuff took time, took money to Sybil, and they were doing it for $5, and they'll do that time and time again. It's crazy.
I feel it, brother. I feel it. It's I'm trying to think. It's like Fiverr, man. I use Fiverr sometimes to get like work done, and I'm always amazed at how much work they do for so cheap, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the to plug a friendly project, check out Snapbrilla, the on-chain version of Fiverr.
Why?
I love those guys because I love those guys. That team is amazing.
How do they get paid?
So they get a small fee. They're providing a platform for both. They like provide the whole SaaS system for a developer to either create a code in so that the project can't steal the code, but can also see that it works. They can also see like if graphics are being designed or something like that. It's really cool. But what they're really like that's sort of like their side platform. What they're building out, they're building a wallet, but what they're really pushing forward is creating new Web3 devs and junior interns, and so they have like an internship program for companies where they'll teach. They bring people on. Pay them a little bit, but teach them a lot, and they get paid by other companies to sort of like bring these people into Web3. So, and then they go after a lot of grants.
It's cool, man. I still think I'll use regular Fiverr. So easy.
Yeah. Snapbrilla was at they were at Rare Evo as well.
Man, you know, I didn't really go through the booths at Rare Evo.
Yeah.
I was there talking to people and hanging out with people. I saw some of the speeches, and my people were talking. And then I also saw what's wrong with me? Charles Hoskinson, Jesus.
Yeah.
A bunch of times. Mostly just hung out. The parties weren't very big, but I went to them and I liked the luncheons. It was kind of like a pretty private experience, right? It's just like there wasn't any foot traffic. It was all people that you would people that you know, right?
Yeah.
So it was like a big giant meetup of like important people. So I didn't really go to the booths. Okay. I just talked to people like in the hallway.
Man, I wish I could have stayed for 2 reasons. One, I wanted to stay for Rare Evo, but then like when I left Denver, and I left Denver like the day before Rare Evo started, I think it was halfway down to Dallas, or not even halfway down to Dallas, like 2 hours out of Dallas, I ended up hitting a coyote that took out the front of my car.
You killed a coyote?
I did. The guy came.
Jesus.
He came running out at like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. It was. I felt really bad for him or her. Yeah.
Or her.
Yeah.
You misgendered a coyote, brother.
I was calling it a fox forever. But yeah, I actually just got my car back today. So, yeah.
How many conventions do you go to in a single year?
Oh man. So far this year's been a slow year because I didn't go over to Europe. I think I've been to this year so far maybe about 10 to 15 so far this year. Yeah. And then plus a ton of little side events and meetups as well. Last year,
like, that's a number that I thought would be low, brother.
That to me that's a low number. Yeah. I last year, being able to go to Europe and just like the nonstop go last year. I think I went to close to 70 conferences and main events. It was a big year last year.
Honestly, I'm going to more this year than I ever had before. I'm paying for them all myself. Usually, before I would have sponsors and stuff to be with the company, but I find, I'm currently, I want to say unemployed because I'm not unemployed and doing shit. But I'm currently not attached like a major company or anything. And I find without having to do like a 9 to 5, like I actually really, really am pumped and hyped to go to these conferences. Whereas before, they're almost like distractions.
Yeah. No, for me, like I think the conferences are some of the best spots to be. They have me pumped 24/7, getting ready for the next one after that. I think like you get to hear directly from the protocol's mouths, directly from like the builders and stuff like that. And hear why they think that they're important and why they're different or why they're needed, and how they're gonna like. What's really cool is, and it almost gets overused, but how everyone feels that their product's going to change the world or change the way something is being done. And that optimism, you don't hear that like at Money 2020. I got to go one day for that, and like we started off this space, staying the night with Cass after meeting Cass for, you and Cass 5 hours, maybe half a day, to stay in Vegas for another day, to go to Money 2020. And I talked to a lot of the money booths, but the crypto booths, they all had optimism about the future, and all the money booths were, we can help you now, and
I feel it.
And we'll help you stop everyone was about, all the money booths were, we're going to help you stop losing money. All the crypto booths were, we're going to help you start making money. So I think the communities are completely different, but they're going to be getting more intertwined in the next couple years than anyone I think is really ready for. So, yeah.
What's crazy? While we were having this conversation, a fake BitBoy contacted me on Twitter. Like, hey man, like I think he was listening because as we were talking about it, he sent me a friend request. It was like, hey man, how's it going? I think he's listening. He was listening to your thing and decided he would go try and scam me.
Oh man, dang it! That is hilarious. No, that happens all the time. I expect that I will get one too. I know that there is.
Here's the thing: I've never ever gotten on my personal Facebook. I've never gotten like a fake BitBoy. And as I'm on your thing talking about him, I get a fake big boy on Facebook. Hey, how's it going? So someone was listening to this and thought that they could go grab me.
That is, man, and little do they know that you can grab them back.
Little do they know what?
Little do they know that you can grab them back. My boy Adam's got hands. For those that don't know, Adam's got hands.
Bro, I fought my neighbor today. I got this crazy neighbor that moved in to my apartment complex in San Francisco. He doesn't wear shoes. He wears garbage bags on his feet. And when you ask him why, he says it's because there's mildew on the ground and it gets into your feet and the government controls your brain.
That sounds legit.
Yeah, I ride an electric skateboard. I have a couple of them. It's my vice. And he sees the controller in my hand. He thinks I'm trying to control his brain. So he gets weird. He'll open his door and put a speaker in the hallway. And then you think he's going to blast music. He doesn't blast music. He blasts the Bible on tape. and then when you walk over, you're like, dude, take your speaker inside and close your door. You look into his house and you see he has no furniture, no nothing. He just has a couple of suitcases. And I was just like, bro, you've been for a month. Like, what are you doing? Well, today, like, I lost my cool, man. I was sick of this crazy guy. Like, I walk out and he blasts the Bible to us again. And I went over there. I kicked over his speaker. And I was like, bro, I told you. Take this shit inside and close your freaking door. And then what I didn't expect, because he's kind of a tiny guy, he started screaming back at me. He's all, F you, you piece of shit. You know, oh, wow, this guy's actually talking back. He's like inviting me to come into his house so he can kill me. He's like, step inside my house. I'm not stupid. I stepped inside your apartment. You have legal right to, like, defend yourself, like, with
well, have you seen that new proposition bill, to go off of crypto for a second, that for California, that it will be illegal for you to step in the way of looters and robbers?
Yep.
By like a $18,000 fine.
Yeah, the reason why is because we have so many homeless people out here. We don't know what to do with them. Apparently, they're starting to put them in my building. The fucking government. That's okay. I'll finish this thought first. We're about to go into a hella tangent here.
Yeah.
There's so many homeless people in San Francisco. So many, and they're all nuts, man. They're not like down on your luck. Oh, I lost my job. My wife left me. The IRS took my house. That's not what they are. They are like the government's trying to steal my organs, right?
Yeah.
Those are our homeless people. We don't know what to do with them. So we just want to make sure they don't rob and kill us, basically.
Yeah.
They're all cowards, so they don't go after people like me. They go after. I feel perfectly safe in the city. I'll walk outside, go through the worst streets possible, and feel completely safe because these homeless drug addicts and crazy people, they're cowards. What they attack are old ladies, women, children. That's why you hear so many. The media tries to spin it that there's Asian hate going on, like old Asian men and women keep getting attacked because Asian hate. That's not true. They are getting attacked. They're just getting attacked by random fucking homeless people. Homeless people will attack anything. It's just fashionable to report on the ones where they attack old Asian ladies, right?
Yeah.
And the reason they do it is because they want money for drugs or they're hungry or whatever. So we're like, okay, we got so many of you. We don't have anywhere to put you. During COVID, we didn't know what to do with you that we wanted. We actually rounded you up like cattle and put you in all the 5-star hotels. This is true. All of our amazing 5-star hotels in San Francisco was filled with homeless people during the COVID because we had nowhere else to put them. And, just because you put like a crazy homeless guy in a presidential suite in the Marriott doesn't mean he's no longer homeless. He's still shitting in the streets and thinking the government's after him. So, like it was a thing. But anyhow, so that's why we have the rule where you can steal whatever you want so long as it's not more than $990. I don't know how they got to that number, but basically under $1,000. You take anything more than $1,000, then we can stop you. But for the most part, if you want food, go get food. If you want clothing, go get clothing. You know, if you want a $2,000 TV, no, you can't have that. That's kind of how it works, right? They also all have these Obama phones. So we call them Obama phones, but it's a free iPhone or free Android phone they give everyone. Because technically, if you don't have a phone, like, you can't get a job and so on and so forth. The phone's so shitty that, like, it barely has any memory at all. But anyhow, on that phone are some numbers that are like speed dial. One of that numbers is for an ice cream truck to come and give you ice cream whenever you want it. But when I say ice cream truck, what I mean is a van. When I say ice cream, I mean drugs. So we don't want them off the drugs.
Yeah.
The meth, get meth. You know what he does? He starts killing elderly Asian women. So we want them on their meth. So there is a van. If you want it, they'll come wherever you are. They'll give you meth, heroin, clean needles, or needles all over the fucking place. Pills, whatever you want. Everything but weed. They don't give you weed because weed's legal here and it's taxed.
Yeah.
So in order to get weed, you need to go to the doctor, get a card. And you know what? Here in San Francisco, we have free medical. So if you're homeless, you can technically get free medical. And then you can go walk in and grab your cannabis. But in reality, that's the one drug that all the homeless people should be on. If you have a calm them the fuck down, but it's the one that we don't give them, right? So,
yeah.
But yeah, so what was happening was because we got this rule, right? We got this rule, right? Which is you can't like brutally stop these people because the companies were hiring security guards to protect their items, right?
Yeah.
But if it's technically legal to take $990 worth of like groceries, then I guess stopping them from taking it would technically be illegal. That's stealing, kind of. It's weird. It's a weird gray area, right?
Yeah.
But the point is retailers were getting fed up, so they were killing like homeless people. They were just like hiring security guards, and they were like, "Nope, can't take that." And then there was a fight, and they pull out a gun and shoot them. So, I mean, that was happening a lot. So we got this rule where you can't. It already exists. I don't know what the rule you're talking about. There's a rule that said you can't brutally defend yourself against looters and
this one is a new one that looks like it's coming up that you cannot interfere with them in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, yeah, I heard about that because the security guard stops like steps in front of you and says you can't take that Sharpie cart full of food. Technically, the security guard is stealing from the homeless person.
Yeah. Well, no, this one, the way I read it, and this may just be the way I was reading it, but it was like burglars included. So you can't attempt to stop someone in your own home.
That's great. I'll go over to my neighbor's house and count his faces right now.
No, you will not, sir. And this is all in fantasy land, as this is a recorded space. We are a safe space. All imaginary land. Except for crypto. Crypto's real.
Yeah, San Francisco is something else, man.
So I last time. Wait. When was the last time I was in San Fran? I was there. Oh, I was there late last year for ETH Global. 5 minutes in the city, my car got broken into on federal property. Had a whole bunch of stuff taken out of my car, which really sucked. But earlier in the year, I was at San Fran for GDC, the Game Developer Conference.
Oh, yeah. I was there for a couple of days. But I had to go to NFT LA.
Oh, was that this year or last year's one?
Both years.
Oh, okay. I didn't make it to that. I was supposed to go to both NFT LA and GDC this year, and I wasn't able to make them. That was sort of sad. Last year, when I was at GDC with blockchain, oh my gosh, Soul. what is there? What, not Solana, but KCal. Oh my gosh, I forget the name of the chain. That really sucks. But
Good
I was.
job. You're a great ambassador.
Oh my god! Well, no, I was there for my game. Nemots. They actually just got they got 5th place at 3XP. I know you were there too. I think if I remember right. And yeah, but the Nemots got 5th place. But last year we were there under the name Taco Cat and Wildcard, and I went through the homeless population there, and I started onboarding them all into Coin XYZ so that they could earn tokens, and I helped them set up Coinbase accounts so they could cash them out. And so from all their walking around through the city, they could earn tokens and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think I helped like 10 people do that, wanted to do that. That was sort of fun. That was a fun evening. But yeah, no, it's yeah. I'm glad I'm going to miss you at Breathe and Permissionless. I don't yet know if I'm going to make it to Breathe. But I'm glad you're going to Token 2049.
I was thinking of going to all of them if I could. It's not possible.
No, yeah.
Why do things always? But there are weeks where nothing's going on. There's months where nothing's going on. All of a sudden, there's a million things going on.
Yeah, Breathe was supposed to happen earlier this year, right after Consensus, and I was all prepped for it. Had the hotel in Vegas and everything, and then they got enough big sponsors interested that they're like, oh, we're going to need a bigger space. Let's push it back so we can get a bigger space. So I guess that's a good reason to move a conference, but it's still, then you're like, oh, we're going to place our time during, one of the biggest conferences the 2 biggest conferences of the year, Permissionless and Token 2049. So it's going to be interesting.
I went to GDC in 2022, and there wasn't the whole thing about that GDC was that so COVID happened in 2020, the week of GDC. Like, yep. When I mean the week of GDC, I mean the conference center was all GDC'd up. All yep. The booths were there. They were put together already. People had traveled to San Francisco for it, and then COVID happened and lockdown happened. And then it was canceled in 2021. So then in 2022, GDC had to honor all of the booths that were bought for GDC 2020. Now here's the crazy thing. I used to work for a video game company, and we went to GDC every year, and we bought the GDC booth
mm-hmm.
the last day of the conference, meaning so GDC 2015, right?
Yeah.
We go there, and then on the last day, we buy the booth for 2016. Okay, you buy the booth on the last day of GDC for the following year, you get like a 50% discount.
Yeah.
It is. So what ended up happening is the people who bought booths for 2020 purchased them in 2019. Right?
Nice.
So we go all the way back to April 2019, and that's where, let's just say, 50%, maybe even 60% of the 2020 booths were purchased.
Yeah.
But then 2020 is canceled for COVID. 21 is canceled for COVID. So they come back to 2022. But they don't want to give everyone their money back. So they just go, okay, well, your booth is still here, basically. Which means they can't sell new booths.
Yep.
Because they have to honor the old booths. Meanwhile, a lot of the companies who purchased that booth in 2019, their game already came out, already went the fuck under.
Yeah.
So they got no reason to go. So when I was walking around the 2022 GDC, what I was actually walking around was like 2020 GDC, but almost 2019 GDC, and it meant it was empty. There was nothing there. The booth space were there, and they were taped off. Like, this is where the Activision booth is going to be, and then there was no Activision because Instead, they went to South by Southwest, and South by Southwest became new GDC.
Yeah.
So they needed money. So they decided to sell the hallways. There's 2 giant convention centers in those big, long hallways that connect them.
Yep.
And usually you don't sell the hallways. Usually the hallways, you just use it for walking between the 2. But they sold the hallways, and the hallways were Web3. And they were so bootstrapped that these companies had like white plastic tables and fold-out chairs, and but it was enough for me to see that Web3 was going to take this thing over. And I said to myself right then and there, I said, the next year where they can actually sell actual spots, because most of the video game companies are now using South by Southwest instead of GDC. This is going to be a Web3 conference, and sure enough, it was.
Nice.
Like, I always go to GDC parties, and they're always like 15 of them. And there's like a Pocket Gamer party, and there's that Microsoft Xbox party. This year, there was a party list for GDC. There was like 10 regular ones, and like 50 crypto. Crypto had its own tab.
Nice.
On the party list, And I was super pissed that I had to go to NFTLA instead. Because I really wanted to stay in my own hometown and do it. But I had to go to NFTLA and host a panel with BitBoy of all people and some others. And it was a good panel, but NFTLA was dead, bro. It was dead because everyone was at goddamn GDC.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why the hell did they put it? Why do people do this? How did they not look at like what else is going on? Here's the crazy thing: NFTLA and GDC, they're separated by 5 hours of road. That's it.
Yeah.
You can drive between them in 5 hours. Like, why would you do that? Why would you put 2 things on at the same fucking time? Now we got permissionless Breathe. But Breathe is gonna suck, brother. I'm sorry to tell you, it's gonna suck. It probably won't come back. But Breathe, permissionless, and Token 2049 all at the same time. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. No, I know. Yeah. The only one I don't, why they picked their date without seeing where other projects were was Breathe, Token 2049, and permissionless. They've been set since last year. I think, and this is permissionless is moved from my West Palm Beach to Austin for this one. But last year I did the same trip. I did South by Southwest, then GDC, and then Dubai for ETH Dubai, Binance Dubai, and ABIC Dubai. Then over to London. Yeah, I was on a tour last year. Like, that was a nonstop crypto conference. I think there was like 3 months I didn't even take off 2 months I didn't even take off any of my badges or wristbands, because every day was a conference of some kind. It's crazy. But no, man, I look forward to seeing you at Mainnet.
Oh yeah, I like the parties that Mainnet produces.
Yeah. No, there's some good stuff. I'll have to coordinate when you're getting into town and stuff like that. Maybe we go grab coffee and stuff before or after or during.
I don't know. I'm down, brother. I'm down. All right, brother. I'm gonna take. This was a weird space. I just came in and started ranting, raving. How many people are watching this on your YouTube videos?
I usually get around 30 rewatches. Let's see. Right now, down to 10. 3 people on Twitch. Hello to everyone on Twitch. Yeah. So, but yeah, no. The review or the rewatch is where a lot of it comes from. So just because I rarely ever remember to send out notifications of pre-planned and just consistently inconsistent, but daily.
No, I feel it, brother.
Yeah.
Well, glad you come in and make this somewhat interesting for you. All right, have a good night, Taco.
Hey, you have a wonderful night.
Peace.
Peace. For those that don't know, that is Adam Charles. When you get a chance, give him a follow on Twitter. Like you sort of heard tonight, huge advocate for creators and product projects and protocols and people that are building. This is sort of funny. He comes, he sounds arrogant. It comes from confidence. He is a humble man, and he has a really nice heart. So I really like what he does and like what he builds, and grateful to call him, a friend. So, but give Adam a follow, look him up, see what he's doing, and be a part of what he's doing. We have sort of sidetracked completely tonight, from going over Stella Swap. So we're going to go over that tomorrow. 2 nights of Stella Swap. Like I like to be, transparent and consistent. One of the dexes that I am part of is Stella Swap. For a while I was their director of business development and investor relations. I am now their director of ambassadors, so business development and their ambassadorship program, teaching people about Polkadot, teaching people about Moonbeam, people how to use Stella Swap. For those that have been watching on the video, for part of this conversation, I've gone through and I've shown how to input an V3 LP pool one-sided, and we'll talk more about that at a later date. We'll talk about that tomorrow. So as we end every space, we end it every space in 2 ways, with our words of wisdom and the best, worst knock joke on the face of the planet. And as always, our words of wisdom are: a closed mouth cannot be fed, and you cannot feed a closed mouth, meaning if no one knows you're looking for opportunity cannot come a knocking. And if it does, and no one answers, it's going to keep on walking. And just want to do a shout out to Liam. Great seeing you today. And with that, we get to end with the greatest, worst, one-sided knock joke on the face of the planet. Hope you're ready. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow. This was TacoBytes, your daily bite of Degen, episode 383. And like, subscribe, comment, and all of those aboves. But knock, who's there?